Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Tales of Arise, where we never stop having skits and cutscenes. Last time we left off, we had a bunch of skits and cutscenes, and we're hanging out in Lenegus, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it got destroyed because they decided that they wanted to turn this into a Death Star, but whatever.
I didn't realize Renan oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Dahnan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman. What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
The art of conversation, let's go.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden? I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Dohalim has a high charisma / persuasion stat, and now Alfred and Law are doing it. I'm just imagining Law walking around being like, yes, indubitably, Shion, I do think that is a Zoogle.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, their sovereign's up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dahna.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegus now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Dahnans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegus. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dahna, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Really? Okay. I just realized I think I said undubitably instead of indubitably, which would be wrong. A quest that is just more talking. Interesting. Like I said, I love this, but I bet this particular part of the game drove some people nuts. Lord Dohalim, you've returned. Ah, and I see you brought aides with you. Do you remember who I am, my lord? Surely you must, yes? Not only do I support House Ilkaris, but more specifically his lordship personally. So much so I've been trying to share my appreciation of his lordship to any who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject through this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. But since the lines appear to be cut due to the recent tumult, I've been unable to upload them. I know, since you're all here, I'll just read them aloud. Ahem. There exists the most handsome man, a man who radiates beauty, whose every word, every syllable is divine poetry. Yeah, I mean, you're kinda right. He hails from the famed house Ilkaris, and his name, Lord Dohalim. Music is his passion, the arts his great love. The scores of boorish uncouth men of this land cannot begin to compare to his magnificence. So refined and majestic is his posture, why the mere thought of it brings me to ecstasy. Okay, now you're just getting a little creepy. Once he becomes our sovereign, Renan shall bloom anew, ushering in an era of prosperity for our grand civilization. Till that glorious day comes, I shall forever be praying for his victory, morning, noon, and night. Well, what did you think, my lord? I poured my whole heart into it, trying to capture your essence. Wait, I forgot to mention anything about his lordship's love for collecting things. I must take this time while the lines are down to append it. Only then will my masterpiece be complete. Okay.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then. Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
Alrighty. Well, let's go see who you're a suck up to. Well, I never. To think anyone would try to tear me away from House Valkyries. What? What do you want? Don't tell me you work for Lord Dohalim or that dreadful Lord Almadria, do you? Don't? Well, don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House Valkyries for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Ganabelt behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Many think him to be a cruel man, but I assist they're utterly mistaken. Though I won't deny he can be strict, he puts Rena's interests front and center like no one else. While he advocates that rather than staying confined to Lenegis, we should get on with colonizing Dahna and expand our horizons. That way we'll become masters of both worlds and overturn our current minority status on Dahna's surface. That is why he seeks to become our next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater, more noble ambition than that? I think not. It is a pursuit of power for the advancement of all our kind. It is what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. Also makes him an asshole because he's willing to subjugate the people living there currently, but whatever, go off I guess. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my two sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface. As their father, it fills me with endless pride. Wow, brainwashed much.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Dahnans?
Because you were different than him, and he saw that as a massive, massive problem and challenged his authority. What a dick. I don't know which lord I support. Why, are you out canvassing for someone? I can hazard a guess. I'm with His Excellency Erwolsi Teldalis. You probably know him better as Lord Balsif. Yeah, I was about to say. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute, believe me. I realize he can be an aggressive man. What those people don't realize is how much he looks after the members of his house. It's fair to say that House Teldalis doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that.
Yes!
But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that we can be sure. Yeah, he protects his own, so what? His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, but to improve the standing of each and every member of his house.
Yes!
I owe so much to His Excellency, I can never dream of serving any other lord. Well, it's benefiting me, so who cares about everyone else?
Balsif had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Yeah, I mean, I think this quest is trying to make me understand some of the things from the Lord's perspectives, but I still think they're all dicks. This isn't really changing my opinion of them at all. They're still assholes. that only cared about themselves and, like, their family / group that they were a part of. They didn't care about the majority of people. Alright. What's up? We got 2 more.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Is this the rich district? Oh, we're gonna find out.
Pardon me.
This area falls under the sole jurisdiction of House Kyneris, and I must ask you to depart at once. Surely you don't claim to be ignorant of our famed house, ruled over by the most esteemed Lord Almadria. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis, only a few women lords have emerged to compete in the crown contest? Many have theories as to why this might be, but Lord Almadria quashed the doubts of any naysayers through sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and previous family master, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She is a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants, who gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. Truly, Lord Almadria is a woman of talent. No one in all of Rena better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's meritocracy. Soon the age of a glorious woman sovereign reigning over Lenegis shall be upon us at last. I mean, Almadria...
Her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, out of all of the lords, Almadria was one of the villains that were like... What's the word I'm looking for? They're a good villain in that the things they did were smart, they were cunning. I don't think they're a good person, but you gotta hand it to her. She was kind of cunning and smart and knew what she was doing. I still think she's a jackass, but yeah. There's characters like that in a lot of media where I'm like, damn it, I hate them, but damn, you gotta admit they're good at what they do. I mean, she wasn't good enough to not get killed by me, but... What's happening? I don't get it. There wasn't a decree or anything to announce this like there always is. You're right. Even if this was an accident, it's strange that we still haven't heard anything from the Sovereign yet. My ears deceive me, or are you saying that you don't trust what the Sovereign's doing? Have you know that I was part of the delegation that came down with him to Dahna during the previous crown contest? He was a brilliant man and just as good with astral arts as well. I'm sure he's well aware of the situation and thus has a plan to resolve it. Till then, we must simply wait and trust in his judgment. Like, Volron, you know, just had overwhelming strength, basically, and that was Volron's claim to fame. But Almadria was smart and cunning. I guess Ganabelt kind of was too, but I remember less about Ganabelt than I do Almadria at this point. Okay. You.
Ridiculous.
How loathsome. Oh, I was just reading about Volron. Can I help you?
Okay.
I was always an ardent supporter of Lord Urwagil Hildress myself. Were it not for his sudden death on the surface, I likely still would be. In my eyes, Lord Urwagil is the true Water Lord. I don't believe for a second that he perished in some accident like they say. As for how Volron runs Gedeth Harrows, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Dahnans, but even his fellow Renans. We may live in a society where to the victor goes the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this house Ignaceri of his anyway? Never heard of it till he came along, which means they must be along the lowest dregs of society. Such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to lordship is unheard of. None of it makes any sense, not to mention all the upheaval around here of late. What is happening to our people? Alright, you're some person that just wants to...
Seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Okay, so you just want to maintain the status quo.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
Yeah, I mean, we've also seen just how messed up it is, what they have to deal with, so... Honestly, for a lot of the things they did, it might have been more the pressures of society and the system that they have to operate in here on Lenegis and in Rena. That's the cause for a lot of the crazy things they did, especially Almeidrea. Almeidrea seemed like wildly desperate to like prove herself, probably because of the competitive nature that's just pushed on Renans in this world. So it's kind of it kind of makes you understand and put things into perspective about why they did the things they did. The system just made them grow up that way. That's what they were taught. They didn't know any better and felt like they had to, and in some cases they might have had to. It really does show, though, especially Volron, just how cold-hearted he was, that even all of the other massive asshole lords still cared about their people, but Volron didn't care about anybody. He murdered Almeidrea and even enslaved his own Renans, as that guy said, so Volron was just an actual asshole. Saved my life. I would have been a goner had you not arrived when you did, my lady. Oh, I understand we're in a crown contest, but I had no idea such a capable astral artist was in our midst. Forgive me for not realizing it sooner. Come on, you don't need to bow so deeply. All I did was strike that Zugel's weak point. I didn't even get to go down to Dahna for the crown contest, so I'm not sure how to feel about all this praise you're heaping on me. Okay, I thought she was talking. Hello. Where's my house? I don't know how to get home. Oh. Sorry, authorized personnel only. The damage beyond here is too severe. You'll have to go around. Alright. I want to fight some of those Zugels. Member of the upper caste, I order you to find a route out of here to the neighboring district. Please no, you can't expect an old man such as me to do that. Not when there's Zugels running loose in that part of town. That's exactly what I need you to do. Why I need you to do this. Surely you don't intend to defy me now, do you? Also, yeah, screw caste system, man. Caste systems are messed up. Residential quarters completely ruined. Roads are a mess and we can't get any power. Info terminals have gone dead too. We can't get in contact with any of our fellow Renans on the ground in Dahna. The Sovereign's aware of what's going on. Very interesting to me that that character over there mentioned a meritocracy while they have a caste system. That's like an oxymoron. Those things actively work against each other. That's a cool little animation they got going on there. I mean, the fire's not going down at all, but... Alright. Lego. Treasure chest. Grape gem. Father, what's going on? I'm scared. Not sure, son. Never in all my years has Lenegis had anything like this ever happen. Not even once. Always been a decree before anything takes place. Not only was there none this time, but the residential quarter has seen damage and injuries. I mean, there's something bad happening then? It's possible. For now, all we can do is wait and hope for the best. I don't think I switched to the kid there. I gave the kid a very adult voice.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
That's the second time you guys have said that, but you still stop around to chat. Yeah, I mean, you guys are getting played by some kind of force that's on Rena or isn't on Rena. Like, you're being lied to, basically, about there actually being a ton of Renans on Rena. I think it's just like one person or a few people just playing all of you personally. But we'll see. Did any of this happen? For years, Lenegis was a bastion of order and stability. Where did it all go wrong? I don't know, man. Your guess is as good as mine. Alright. Anything else happening around here? Try not to miss anything. Ooh.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dahna already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dahnan rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Well, there she is. Alright, so sounds like that girl needs to realize that it was the system in place that makes the lords fight to the death in order to enter the crown contest. That's the problem here, not Dohalim. Dohalim was forced to do that, and that guy, if I remember correctly, was like attacking him with reckless abandon. He was just defending himself, so yeah, sorry lady. You need to get over that grudge you've been holding for 7 years.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Man, that was abrupt. We're getting a lot of Dohalim lore here. I'm kind of into it, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, Red Woman was back there. So she is here, and is probably watching us do these things that we're doing. That's a bit intimidating to think about. Feel guilty about fleeing while there's still kids out there fighting. We need to worry about them. They come from a higher-ranking family than ours. It makes their astral stronger than ours. They're simply fulfilling their duty to society of members of the ruling elite. I know, but it still doesn't sit right with me. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing another one of you do the water astral art thing. Okay. What is this? Is that just a weird lamp? I guess so. Alright. Where are we going? Wow, this area is massive. Oh my god! Okay, well there's a merchant over there. That's useful at least. Civilian parks. It's about time for another cutscene, don't you think? Don't you think? No? Wouldn't it be crazy if one of the owls we're missing is hanging out up here? Wouldn't that just be nuts? Just Dan and Owl, you know, hanging out on Rena. Or Lenegus. Got taken here on one of the starships. Hitched a ride. Oh, cool tofu. Heating pin is in bad shape. Who knows how many people have died? What happened to the Zoogles? Don't tell me they broke out. No, luckily we were able to seal them off before they got too far. Not that it does much good when they've escaped in other districts too. If I had to guess, I'd say there are a lot of Zoogles running loose throughout Lenegus. There are a lot more of them than us too. What are we gonna do? All of our best soldiers are stationed down in Dahna. Well, luckily you have the ruling families that can cast real good astral arts. Alright, what's up, everyone? You're waving? Who are you waving to? You're like beckoning someone. Or are you just cheering that person on that's spraying the water? Alright. Wow, this place is a big old maze, isn't it? I kind of want to play basketball on these lamps. They just look like a basketball goal to me.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dahna, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. as well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Dahnans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
think that was Avakir that was watching us there. Also, yeah, I feel like if Dohalim had told Faria, he tried to murder me. I was just defending myself. I don't know if she would have believed him. Like, yeah, she was good friends with him, but Tarnigan was now her spouse, basically, or betrothed. So, I don't know. I feel like she would have trusted his, you know... I feel like she would have trusted him over
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
I see a medic and supply officer.
That's just me.
If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
But yeah, I feel like that would probably be how that went. Maybe not, but I don't know if she would have taken Dohalim's word over Tarnigan's, so whatever. I can't say Dohalim made the right choice, but he made the choice nonetheless, and you definitely can't change it now. I think if you told her now, she wouldn't believe you, definitely. Please don't calm down soon. Don't you think we should board a starship so we can evacuate? We can't. You have to have the Sovereign's permission to enter a starship for anything other than the crown contest. Oh, where's the Sovereign? Why isn't he here to lead us in our time of need? Well, probably because he doesn't give a shit about you. Alright, so... I guess we're gonna go over here. Do I even need to rest? No. Hit you up. Oop. Sorry. Honored to serve you, my lord, truly. You. Am I to see me, or has my shop been blessed by Lord Dohalim and his servants? Is there anything I can help you with, my lord? Buy, sell items. What we got? We got a lot of stuff here. Could get better armor for you guys. Honestly, the only one who's getting a real upgrade from this is you. I would still maybe want it, though. I think I'll get the diamond one piece, but that's it. Just because that's a pretty good upgrade for Xion. Cue us getting a better piece of equipment from the chest in about 5 minutes. Are we good on life bottles? We only have 5. I want 10 more of those. Pineapple gels would probably be pretty good to have. It's just straight up better to get orange gels than pineapple gels, but I guess the deal with pineapple gels is you can get more back quickly. 2800 HP. I mean, I feel like we're good on those. I mostly just want the orange gels, but we're gonna hold off for now. That's a little bit of money. Alright, forged weapons. Can I make anything new? Gladius Arena. That looks like a really cool weapon. Sword made with Lenegis technology. Cutting-edge Renan technology was used while developing it to feel good to hold in anybody's hand. I can make the Supreme Flare Claw now. Apparently I've never made this before. Right? Yeah, I still can't make the Machete Carrot. But yeah, I've never made the Supreme Flare Claw, so let's make that. I'm not going to use it, but... Wow, that's a big gun. Famous cannon that belonged to a man thought to be immortal. Most who try to fire it themselves are bound to be blown back by the recoil. Yeah, I can see why. Ooh, we can make Radiant Light Part 3. Okay. Good stuff. That's a really big upgrade for Rinwell. You already have the Tyrant Fists. And Pink Protector. Cat Shield. Great. I have the money to make it, so sure. Yeah. Alright, we're good. Create accessories. Do I want to do anything here? I don't think that I do. That Mystic Crest, I want to be able to make more of those. Like, that sounds amazing. Did I actually put that on anyone? I don't think I did I? You still have the Spirit Bangle. Yeah, I think I was going to put it on you, wasn't I? What was it called? The something crest? Mystic Crest. Casting time. You'll lose some attack and some defense, but you'll cast a lot faster. Yeah, sure, take it. And we can improve it here.
But did we have to spend so much?
It's just 10%. Whatever. let's now save the game, because unfortunately I do have to go ahead and end this video off here. We're running out of time, and I don't know what's through that door. There could be like 10 years of cutscenes, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Tales of Arise, and I'll see you next time.